The comic strip Peanuts, featuring good old Charlie Brown, Linus, Lucy, Snoopy, and the rest of the gang, debuted in 1950 and was published in only 7 newspapers. By the beginning of the 1960s, Charles Schulz's little comic strip had attained worldwide success and was so well known that TV producer Lee Mendelson recognized that the strip was having a cultural impact. Mendelson was a documentary producer and wanted to make a documentary about the strip's success, so he called Schulz to tell him about his idea. Schulz, who loved baseball, knew who Mendelson was from his documentary called A Man Named Mays, which is about the baseball player Willie Mays. He invited Mendelson to his home to talk about the project. The meeting went so well that they agreed to make a half-hour documentary about Schulz and Charlie Brown. Mendelson wanted to include about 1 or 2 minutes of animation, and Schulz recommended animator Bill Melendez, who he'd worked with on a commercial for Ford Motor Company. Mendelson later said that he was interested in making the Charlie Brown documentary after working on A Man Named Mays. He said that Mays was arguably the greatest baseball player of all time, while Charlie Brown was one of the worst, making him a natural subject for his next project. The documentary was produced by Mendelson using Melendez to animate a few scenes and jazz musician Vince Guaraldi to do the music. It was titled A Boy Named Charlie Brown and was shown to the Greater San Francisco Advertising Club, where it was very well received. Even though the comic strip was popular and advertisers liked it, networks were not really interested in the documentary. It was, however, essential in getting financial support for what would soon become a Charlie Brown Christmas. By April 1965, Time magazine had featured the Peanuts gang on its cover, triggering a call from John Allen of the McCann Erickson Agency in New York. Mendelson expected that it was about his Peanuts documentary, so he instantly agreed to Allen's proposal, which was an animated half-hour Peanuts Christmas special. The Coca-Cola Company was looking for a Christmas special to sponsor that holiday season, and that was good news for Mendelson. But the bad news was that it was Wednesday and they needed an outline of the story by Monday. Mendelson called Schulz immediately and the two began to plan a Peanuts Christmas special. In less than a day, the team presented an outline for Coke executives, and Mendelson would later state that most of the ideas came from Schulz, whose ideas flowed non-stop. In their pitch to Coke, they talked about winter scenes, a school play, a Bible passage, and a soundtrack that mixed jazz and traditional holiday music. John Allen didn't hear from the TV execs for days, and everyone was holding their breath to see if they were given the go-ahead. Days passed like years, and when Allen finally called Schulz and Mendelson, the news was at once exciting and at the same time nerve-wracking. Allen told them that Coke wanted to buy the special, but they needed it ready for broadcast in early December. That gave them roughly 6 months to cobble together a team that could produce the special at warp speed. Mendelson told Allen that they could meet the deadline with no problem, but behind the scenes, he was a nervous wreck. Almost immediately, A Charlie Brown Christmas went into production. Charles Schulz, or Sparky as he was known to family and friends, was a workaholic by nature, and he produced his beloved comic strip Peanuts every single day, doing the writing, lettering, and illustrations entirely by himself. When Mendelson contacted Schulz about doing the special, he already had started to formulate the script in his head. He decided that he wanted the special to focus on the true meaning of Christmas.
For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
He also loved the work that Vince Guaraldi had done for A Boy Named Charlie Brown documentary and wanted to use jazz music mixed with classic holiday tunes as a soundtrack. Schulz was also insistent that Linus read from the Bible, even though both Mendelson and Melendez thought that religion was a touchy subject, especially on television. When the TV executives were shown the script, They believed that the show wouldn't be commercial enough, and that it would be too religious for a mainstream audience. They also thought that the use of child actors to provide the voices for the characters would be risky. But Schulz wouldn't take no for an answer and pushed ahead with his vision. Sparky and the team worked tirelessly to produce a script that was both heartwarming and true to the spirit of the holiday season. Mendelson and animator Bill Melendez went to Schulz's house to talk about the ideas that they had promised Coca-Cola in the pitch. When they were bouncing around ideas, Schulz wanted to use a sad little Christmas tree that was in the spirit of Charlie Brown himself. When the idea came up of using a laugh track, Schulz was totally against it. He didn't think the audience should be told when to laugh. Schulz also wanted to feature Schroeder playing Beethoven, and Mendelson combined this idea with the Vince Guaraldi track, Linus and Lucy. Schulz finished the script for A Charlie Brown Christmas in just a few weeks, and Melendez plotted out the animation using storyboards with 6 panels for each shot, for a total of around 80 pages. A Charlie Brown Christmas was finished just 10 days before first being shown on TV across the country. Everyone involved thought the special would fail. Melendez saw the finished animation for the first time at a theater showing a few days earlier. He turned to his team of animators and said, "My gosh, we've killed it." Melendez was embarrassed by the finished product, but one of his animators, Ed Levitt, told him it was the best special you'll ever make. It's gonna run for 100 years. The executives at CBS were also unhappy with the final product, stating that it was too slow-paced, the music didn't fit, and that the animation was too simple. Mendelson said that he really believed that if it hadn't already been scheduled for the following week, there's no way they were going to broadcast that show. A Charlie Brown Christmas debuted on CBS on December 9th, 1965 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It was seen by a stunning 45% of those watching television that night. It was an instant hit with viewers and has since become a holiday classic, airing every year on television and capturing the hearts of children and adults for almost 60 years. So the next time you sit down to watch A Charlie Brown Christmas, remember the struggles and challenges that the team behind it faced in order to bring this timeless tale to the screen. This is Rich from Rerun Zone reminding you to always keep the faith and to never give up on your dreams. Well, that wraps up our story of the Christmas classic that almost never was. Do you have any favorite memories of A Charlie Brown Christmas? Leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next video.
I never thought it was such a bad little tree. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little love.